Welcome to the 3 Global Wellness Wednesday. I am so excited to host this event where you can expect to get some great knowledge from an integrative health and functional nutritional coach, as well as some amazing health testimonials from real people getting real results. My name is Kassy Havel, and I'm your host for this evening. I am a registered nurse by trade. I have 4 kids. They're now adults, and I have 2 amazing grandbabies. I'm from a small town in Central Texas. I started this journey in proactive wellness about 5 years ago after 2 decades working in modern medicine. I was truly on a search for a solution for a health crisis that happened in my own family. And even as a nurse, it took me years to find proactive wellness and to see what all it can do for your health. My family, oh my goodness, where do I even begin? Okay, so my husband was in his prime, in his 30s. We were a happy, healthy family of 6. And, we didn't appreciate health the way that we should have until I came home one day from work, and the man that I knew that was my best friend, my partner, my kid's father, and active in every aspect of our lives, couldn't walk on his own. He couldn't control his blood pressure, his temperature. He couldn't control his eye movements. After being in the ER, the ICU, the hospital, the diagnosis came, and basically he had eaten some bad chicken. And when he ate that bad chicken, instead of his body attacking the bacteria from the bad chicken, it decided to attack his nervous system. And he no longer had control over the things that we just take for granted are going to happen. We're going to be able to see with our eyes. Our temperature is going to maintain stable. And after 3 years of having a lot of work with physicians with physical therapy, occupational therapy, basically they told us that my husband was a success, and that we no longer had to come back. And I was like, but he doesn't remember sometimes that he has kids. He makes decisions for our teenage kids that no parent would make. And I was very disheartened after, working in this field for so long, and to feel like that was it, that this was going to be the rest of my life. And I just decided that that wasn't an option for me. I was not going to live without the love of my life in the form that I knew that he could be. So I spent 8 years searching for something. I even instead of bedside nursing, went to management, even worked with legislation on healthcare reform, and continued to do research. And when I stumbled into proactive wellness, which we're going to talk about tonight, it was an eye-opening experience. And I was shocked that I hadn't heard of it before. And, after some time of utilizing nutrition, we were able to, my husband was able to, his cognition was much better, very different. He became the man that he was when we first got married. He was able to be my partner again. I'm not saying that we don't still have struggles, but I am saying that what modern medicine told us was going to be our future is no longer our future. So that's how I found 3. And because of all it had to offer, I continue to share with anyone and everyone what I found that helped my family. And that's why I'm so excited to bring a friend of mine, Marisa Mangiameli. She's an interactive health and functional nutritional coach. Marisa?
Hi, Kassy.
I cannot believe I stumbled over your name. I mean, we've been friends for a long time, and I just stumbled over your name.
Well, my name
Uh,
is a mouthful, so it's okay. It's totally okay. It had me giggling a little bit over here. So thank you so much for having me on tonight. I'm so excited to be here tonight. And Kassy and I like have so many incredible conversations, both here and also off camera. That I'm excited to see where we go tonight with it.
well, let's just go ahead and start out with what does a interactive health and functional nutritional coach. I mean, it's a word full, just like your name.
Yeah.
What exactly do you do, and how does that help people in their health?
So integrative health, functional nutrition, basically is a blend of all the things. Integrative health is a blend of traditional medicine, traditional modalities with also holistic mind, body, spirit, nutrition, all the pieces. I always share that holistic doesn't mean woo woo. I think that to a lot of people who don't have a good grasp on that terminology, that's their first thing that they go to, right? And really, holistic is just looking at the whole picture, it of a person, of a thing, of an environment. Like holistic can be used in a lot of different ways. And so when we apply it to the person, it's looking at that individual's whole picture, from their history, from childhood trauma to nutrition to relationships to their work environment to their home environment, toxic exposure, their medical history, how they're feeling about themselves, their physical activity. It's so many pieces. There's so many pieces to the puzzle. And so I love problem solving, but I was thinking about this earlier today. I really like what I do essentially is empower and partner with people to find all of the little pieces of their puzzle. And I really prefer to think of it as like it's creation of a beautiful picture, right? Instead of problem solving. It doesn't have like then it's like we're looking at ourselves like we're a problem, but really it's creating, it's creation. It's creating something beautiful and really getting people connected to all the little things. Like when you think about a puzzle, like there's like, maybe you have the sky for say in the puzzle, right? And it's like all these blue puzzle pieces. And it's like finding all of the little details that are really individual to that puzzle and that person, to help get that piece in. And then you can find another piece. And now you've got like a block of pieces and they're working together to create something, right? And you're a part of that process. So it's really empowering people to become a part of the process of reconnecting with themselves, advocating for themselves, and taking ownership of like the trajectory of their health in their life.
I love that because in modern medicine, in nursing training, we were taught holistic nursing to get all the pieces of the pie. But I think the part that is totally missed is that ownership, the
Oh,
part
yes.
of that person in their own health. It is like they're waiting for somebody to solve everything, to fix or band-aid whatever they're currently struggling with. And I love that you bring that aspect.
Yeah. Well, I love that you shared about your husband also, because I feel like a lot of conversations, my clientele looks very different. 50% of it is a lot of chronic illness, autoimmune, diabetes, lots of serious stuff. The other 50% is usually people that are just really busy and disconnected from their lives. They come in with a health concern they want to work on, but ultimately it ends up being something that has nothing to do with food or exercise. It's, something that they've been ignoring, like a relationship or their work environment. It's always these pieces that make us uncomfortable. We don't want to, but it's the thing we can control that we like go to, like, okay, well, I'm going to do a diet. So, but I love that you shared about your husband and that you didn't accept what you were told, because I share that with people all the time. And, I'm not going to go into detail on our daughter's story. We've talked about it before, but the one valuable thing that we heard from her specialist when we were up at Boston Children's Hospital with her was I kept pushing back. And I said, the timeline is here. And I just don't feel that it's this. And she said, well, you know what? Nothing in medicine is 100%. She said, and your daughter could be the 1%. And I
Right.
think too many times, because 1% can be such a small percentage, we often focus on the 99%. But when you push back and you do take back some control of how you want your life to look, you can really change things, you know? So I love that you shared that piece. I think it's really applicable today. You know, even I'm going to share one more story before we go forward, but I was sharing with somebody recently because they were told something about their cognitive function based off an MRI. And I said, listen, my MRI doesn't look so awesome, but my cognitive function has improved. And there's so many studies that look at elderly and
Right.
Alzheimer's prevalence, right? And so they look at their MRIs and you have somebody with cognitive dysfunction or Alzheimer's, and they have, you know, their brain looks a certain way. And then you have somebody who doesn't have the clinical appearance, you know, they are high functioning, their cognitive function is good, they're sharp, they're active, but their brain looks the same.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes somebody sees something and puts us in a box with a label and we accept it. And it doesn't mean we can always change it completely, but we do have control of the direction we go with it. And that is the space I love to be in with people.
Yeah, I definitely I like the idea that proactive wellness looks at the root of the issue, you know, looking truly at inflammation, oxidation, malnutrition, toxicity, all the things that you highlighted. I love that proactive wellness is touching on all of that stuff because, you know, in modern medicine, we go through symptoms and we match them up with lab, x-ray, an exam that's done, and you know that's where they correlate their diagnosis. And I love with proactive wellness, they're looking at, let's go way down, let's take the disease way down and see where it actually started. We know where you ended, but let's go way down and see what happened. Why did the body start screaming all of these symptoms? What happened to make the body start trying to make you take notice? So I
Yeah.
love that. So tell us why 3 for you? What made you go, yes, I feel like this is something that would be really great for me and my family.
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. Um, so we pre-launched in February of last year. It's almost a year now. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
And official launch in May. So I said yes at the very beginning.
Hmm.
And my initial yes was because of the leadership. Our CEO, Daniel Piku, Dr. Dan, our chief scientific officer, um, and their willingness to get way outside the box and really, really dive into science and research to bring something that just hasn't been brought to market, really. I mean, that's what they're doing. So that was super exciting to me. I am a research nerd. Things have to check a lot of boxes for me to get on board. I used to not even be very on board with supplements in general, just because so many of them are junk. I mean, you know, they're unregulated. They don't have quality ingredients. Most of them are not food sourced. You know, I shared my mom says to me, well, you know, B12 is B12 no matter. I'm like, no, actually, mom, synthetic B12 is attached to a cyanide molecule, and food source B12, the methylcobalamin, is attached to a carbon and hydrogen. So they're not the same. You know, they're not the same. They're not molecularly the same. So she was kind of shocked with that. So when I just love that we are really bringing whole food sourced nutrients, but with tons of research, like medicinal properties in food, the research behind them, peer reviewed. You could pull like so many PubMed, NIH like research publications, um, on every ingredient in our products. Like that to me was like check, 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 check. Because I like am a research nerd. I dive into that stuff. The other thing I love is that we screen so heavily to make sure there's no toxins in our products. That was another big check for me because that's something that's really hard to control. And that's another thing that costs a lot to pay attention to and control. A lot of companies don't take the time to do that. I love that we're making our own stuff. Like we curate our own products. Dr. Dan has such an incredible background in that space, and the delivery systems that we use are just phenomenal. There's literally no other supplement company that is sending their stuff out for third party testing to show the absorption, because absorption generally stinks in supplements, you know? So the fact that we're doing it and are totally transparent with it and showing what the current absorption rates are for our products, going even beyond that and spending money on, again, third party, independent epigenetics clinical trial, like that's so exciting to me. That stuff like really like jazzes me up. So I came in because I saw where it was going. I never expected it to go here in less than a year. And so every day I'm just more excited to be here to see like what we're going to do and how we're going to serve people, because the products that we have truly serve people. And to be able to get them, you know, we're often behind the eight ball. We're trying to help people that have issues, but to be able to get our stuff into people's hands before they're having issues, like to me, I'm like, that is amazing, because we can really support someone's body feel amazing and not have to, you know, be on the reverse end trying to get it back together so it's feeling good. Do you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
love that we have the ability to do both here, but I just love that we can get so much more good quality ingredients into people so that they can be proactive with their wellness. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yes, I totally get that. And, just to touch on a few things that you said, I mean, the fact that we have 11 different delivery methodologies for advanced delivery, and because it's based on that nutrition, like that nutrient specific, what it needs to get down to the cellular level. I absolutely love that Dr. Dan, did a lot of work into that. I love that they actually tested our specific products, like you said, to check for it, that our product absorption rate. And then, also the epigenetic studies where it's not tested just any nutrient out there that, is one of ours, like turmeric, curcumin, glutathione, whatever it is, it was truly our products. Like they
Our whole
tested
product.
our products
Mhm.
on genes to see if it was able to help turn on and off those genes. And when we talk epigenetics, like most people are like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So most people will know, guys, when you go to the doctor's office and you're filling out all those forms and they're asking you, did your mom, did your dad have, heart disease? Did your mom, did your dad have diabetes? Did they have cancer? What they're wanting to know is, are you already predisposed to something so they can start monitoring for it? But most of the time, they don't take that information and give you things that you can do to turn on or off that particular gene. And I love that our products do that. It gives the capacity to be able to turn on and off a particular gene.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I always share, I probably shared it before when we've chatted, but one of the, I think, most compelling statistics I share with people is that 95 to 97% of all chronic illness is environmentally related, which means that 3 to 5% is predetermined. Yes, you
Right.
can be predisposed, right? What you're talking about is predisposition, but predetermined, it's only 3 to 5%. And that gives us a lot of control if we take it early enough. So environment is so many things. It's all the things I talked about in the beginning. It's your nutrition, it's your lifestyle, it's your relationships, it's your self-care, it's your toxic exposure, it's your sleep. Like all of these things affect your epigenetics, you know? And so it is amazing to see how well our products did. Now we just looked at 8. There's so many genetic factors, right? I think we looked at
Right.
8 or 9. But it's amazing to see how positively it impacted those genetic factors that really speak to overall quality of health, like blood sugar modulation, insulin modulation, energy at the ATP molecular level, inflammatory markers, so many cognitive function, so many amazing things. And guys, we're talking about this study. You can see it too. Whoever invited you on tonight, just ask them for it. It's a public study we can share with you, but it's phenomenal. It's such a cool thing. I love that we are really spending time digging into that stuff and providing solutions for people.
Do you have a favorite 3 product? If you were to have to choose. There is only 6, guys. There's only 6. Okay. But okay, so you can do a combination. I'll give you that. Your favorite combination.
Hmm. My favorite combination that I tend to share a lot because of like I shared earlier, I really deal with a lot of inflammatory stuff, chronic illness, is actually 4 of our products. It's the Vitality, the Revive, the Purify, and what did I miss? Vitality and Eternal. Like those
Mhm.
4 are, I mean, all of our 6 products are phenomenal together. They're meant to act together. But if I can get somebody to try those 4, it's very impactful usually. Now in our household, the collagen is one of my top ones because it gave me my knees back. Like, I know everybody is so excited about how amazing their skin looks with it, and that's nice too for me, but it's not on my priority list. I'm not someone that's ever really given much thought to my outer appearance, but I do care about how I feel, and my knees were just terrible. I mean, around the time that we launched, I was having a hard time getting down the stairs. Like some mornings I was scooting on my butt down the stairs. So, and I have my own history of autoimmune that has been in remission for years and years, but it was a lifetime of inflammation on my body. Plus I have a lifelong equestrian. So I'm riding horses my whole life. I was a track athlete, multiple sports. My knees were just beat up on top of it. So when we launched it, I was like, I have to try the collagen because all the ingredients in it we use for the horses all the time for performance enhancing and for their joints. So I was like, yes, maybe this will be my solution. I'm only 45. I don't want knee surgery. So it worked so fast. And now I keep hearing more and more testimonials with people that are like, oh my gosh, it helped my knees so much. So that's my personal current favorite. But the Purify,
I
I mean, I will tell everybody about Purify because I think everybody needs it. So I don't know. It's hard for me to share just one
Well,
or 2.
definitely. I mean, Purify is I mean, you're exposing yourself to over 70,000 toxins in a given day. I mean, we need to clean out our filtration systems. We do it with our cars, we do it with our air conditioners, and we do that because what happens if we don't?
Yeah,
They break. They
that's right.
break. But we don't ever do that with our own body, and we definitely expose ourselves to so much that our filtration systems need help. So yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get that. And I love that when you're working with people with chronic issues, you're addressing all 4 things that when we scroll everything down, malnutrition, toxicity, inflammation, and oxidation, that's what you're attacking with those 4 products. Eternal for oxidation, Vitalite for filling all those nutritional gaps
Mhm.
to defeat malnutrition, the Purify for toxicity, and the Revive for inflammation. I love that. Um, I love our discussions. I truly, truly do. Um, I love that we also have personal testimonies that they're going to share on here. But I do want to let you guys know that are watching, we're not saying that we treat, cure, or diagnose any disease. What we are saying is that we feed our body what it needs to do the work that it was intended to do. And pretty much the days of not supplementing are over. And that is because you just can't get the nutritional content from actual food anymore.
That's the
And we
truth.
have done that to ourselves. We did it by not doing crop rotation, taking all those minerals from the soils. In addition to that, we all like our fruit and vegetables to look real pretty in the grocery store, right?
Mhm.
You're not choosing those brown ones, right? Well, the only way to make that happen is to pluck them before they're ripe, right? Well, the nutrition happens when they're ripe. So we've done it to ourselves, but there is a solution. So I'm super excited to bring Raquel Enriquez in. I am super excited for her to share with us why she got started on 3. Raquel, welcome, Raquel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited you're joining us tonight. I hear that, well, I get updates from you frequently. So I'm super excited for you to share your journey, your health transformation from taking the 3 products with us.
Okay, well, let me just jump right in. In 2017, I had a health crisis. I was admitted into the ER, ended up staying in the hospital for about 10 days, 7 to 10 days, with very, very issues in my digestive system. I was given the diagnosis of diverticulitis. I'm not sure if anyone knows about diverticulitis, but what it is in your stigmoid colon. And the best way that I can describe it in a nutshell is there's little pockets or little holes in my colon, my stigmoid colon. So food and just everything goes through that. And, it's when you have a flare up, it's triggered from constipation. And, it's so important to use the restroom. And I wasn't, and I had issues there in that area. And so I've had this sense of just discomfort and bloating and gassy and just all this stuff going on. From the time of 2017 to 2023, I had countless flare-ups, hospital stays, ERs. I finally said, this is enough. I am going to be my own advocate, and started researching. I started to talk to my doctor and dietitian and all of the things, and changing my diet and not drinking things with sugar or soda and all the things. I was doing all the things, drinking a gallon of water a day. I was doing all the things. I hadn't had a flare up, but I still was not feeling good. I started to lose weight on another program, and I thought, okay, this is an answer. It didn't work. So didn't know what was going on. So through prayer, and just so thankful that God is using me as a vessel in this wellness platform. But I found 3. And I don't know what is like the first week I noticed the mental clarity, because I suffered with that mental clarity, the aches, the pains, the bloatiness, the discomfort. I mean, just slowly just started to just go away. I don't know how many weeks I've been on, I think 3 months. And I mean, I feel incredible. I have the energy, because that's one of the things that I struggled with energy. I'm on week 5, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do a 5 a.m. workout. I'm doing 2 a days on some weeks. I'm doing 2 workouts in one day. I just cannot, I'm just so thankful and grateful that I found this product. It's completely changed my life. And I just cannot imagine not even being on it anymore.
So what products do you take,
That's
Raquel?
awesome.
I take Eternel, Vitalite, Purify, Revive, and I take Immune, and also the collagen. So I take all 6.
Awesome. That's
Yes. So I remember our first conversation when we got connected. I think it was back in August. You were complaining that you had no energy. So after work, you were sitting on the couch. Your husband is a workout buff, and he really, that was something that y'all connected with before. And with your illness, kind of took that out of the whole ball game for you. And I love that you're talking about now you're working out 1, sometimes 2 times a day.
Yes.
And, just having the energy to do that. Marisa, do you have something to, why you think that these products, actually helped her?
Oh my gosh, yeah, so many reasons. So, diverticulitis obviously has a component of inflammation, which I'm sure Raquel knows, but others might not know. So, I think there's so many things that build up to that point, and who knows what the onset was for you. Sometimes, guys, it's an infection, like it's a viral infection that throws off your gut, your microbiome, and that's this, the main component of your immune system, and things start going haywire from there. But another thing is the liver. Like I always share with people, if like you have some chronic issues, it doesn't matter what those chronic issues are. They could be like major or minor. Usually the liver is angry. So there's so many things that you did with these products that I think just served you in so many ways, by supporting the filtering system, which includes the colon, right? I mean, Purify supports the colon as well as the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and the skin. Like, so that right there probably really helped you remove some toxic burden that you were hanging on to for a while. And then the vitality, I love when people share about their energy levels with the vitality and the eternal, but the vitality with the cognitive function too, you said you have more clarity. This is where I think it's so cool because we get these anecdotal testimonials all the time where people take that product and they share that they have a lot of energy and their focus is better. And now we have the epigenetic study that shows it increases brain derived neurotrophic factor, which is really, really needed and necessary for cognitive function by 840%. Like that's really big. So I think that that probably played a large role. You know, the eternal really helps again support the liver. A lot of people actually don't know that, but glutathione really supports the liver and removal of toxins also, as well as the antioxidant properties and healing. Like that product is so wonderful for helping your body repair. You know, so you're giving it the nutrients it needed to be like our bodies are miracles. Like they're miraculous healing, detoxing machines when they have the right tools. And so you started giving it some really powerful tools and it was like, oh, I've got this, you know, and I love that you're feeling so much better. That's so amazing, Raquel. Thanks so much for sharing it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank you,
having me.
Raquel. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, we've got somebody else that's jumping in. She is also in the medical field. Miss Jennifer Hayward is joining us, and I'm super excited to hear her health transformation. I understand it's related to her family. So welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Kassy. How are you? I'm Marisa. Thanks
Hey,
for having
Jen.
me.
Hey.
Yeah, I am a pediatric nurse practitioner. So Kassy, like you, I was in the health field for quite a bit of time. Just like you as well, kind of hit a point where I wanted to get into preventative wellness, proactive wellness. Just kind of saw a lot of patients that didn't need to be in the hospital, in the ER, and just got to a point where I really wanted to start teaching myself more about integrative medicine. So with that being said, one of the people who brought me on board, Megan, she's a coworker of mine. She introduced me to the three family. Like Marisa, you know, I wanted the research. So I got to meet Dr. Dan and got to see his studies and got to listen to him speak. I think we were in New Jersey when I first got to hear him speak, and I was definitely impressed. So Megan had also given me, I think it was the Vitalite. Yeah, she gave me that first. And the next day, just like Marisa said, I woke up, I was like, whatever that is, I want it, because I not only am I in the medical field, I'm a mom of a 5 and a 3-year-old. So my energy was very low. And normally at this time, I would probably be sleeping. So if I didn't have 3, I'd probably already be in bed with my kids. But it's given me so much energy. I've used it so much with my family members. They have blood pressure, blood sugar issues, you know, and I've seen tremendous results with them. But I think the one that was most near and dear to my heart is my kids. So both my kids have, when they do get sick, kind of go downhill pretty fast. And I was sharing with Marisa, we usually end up in the ER or the hospital. I've had both of them turn blue on me a number of times. So thankfully I'm being a pediatric nurse practitioner and being able to handle it. But it was nebulizer after inhaler after, oh, they're going to have eczema, they're going to have asthma, they have, you know, they're going to have these allergies. It's going to be their whole life. This is going to be their protocol. So I finally reached a point where I was like, this can't be it. And I can't, as a pediatric nurse practitioner, like I can't be treating other people this way as well. There's got to be more to it. So I started learning, switching a lot of things, came across 3. They've been using 3 now since I came into the picture with the team. So I'm not really sure when that was, but we've probably had,
right?
I think so, but we probably
Summertime.
had one of the worst winters we've had in the pediatric realm, besides the whole COVID thing. But flu's been on the rise, everything's been on the rise, and knock on wood, my kids have not needed their nebulizer, inhalers, have not been into the hospital at all. I've seen a huge difference in them. I can't even tell you how grateful I am as a mom to, I don't know anybody who knows what Great Wolf Lodge is, but it is
Yes.
a indoor water park. So as a nurse practitioner and my kids being the way they are, it's literally my nightmare. A big place with all those germs and all those kids. It's like, there's absolutely no way in a million years would I ever think of bringing them there. Well, we went there and they had an amazing time and they had an amazing weekend, and they're both home and they're not sick. And none of us are sick because we each threw immunes in our mouths like no tomorrow before we went. So that to me is just amazing. It has given just many of my family members back a quality of life, from adults to children. I love that it's so natural that we can give it to children. And you can kind of get creative with it. It has just changed their life. It's changed my life. I can't remember the last time I went out in a snowstorm and played with them for like 4 hours going sledding. I did my own sledding. I went down slides myself. So it has really just given us back that quality of life, and just in a natural way where I don't need to be, you know, getting emergency steroids and all of that stuff. Our medicine is needed where it's needed. There's some ways it can, but I just feel like I've gotten their bodies, my body, in such a better place that we can fight it on our own. Like Marisa was saying, our body knows what to do. We just got to help it out a little bit.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And I'm super excited that you and your family are having such a much better quality of life. You're not limited on things that you can do. I remember that feeling of limitation, even with my own traveling away from my family, because I was worried about the decisions my husband would make. But you, like your whole family, was limited based on who you exposed your kids to. What a scary situation that had to have been. And then if you do go somewhere, then, the emergency happening and all of that, I cannot even imagine where you were at. I'm super excited that, you tried 3 and that it's, made such a huge difference. Marisa, you want to comment on why you think she's seeing all of this difference this winter, this horrible winter that she's had?
Well, our immune is really phenomenal, but I remember when Jen and I first talked about this, and she was like, she's like, yeah, I want to try the products, but really I want to help my son. And she's like, what do you recommend? And I was like, well, if you could do it, like I recommended my 4, plus the immune. And then she's like, I don't care. Like, I'll get all of them. Like, we'll try all of them. And I was like, okay, do that. And I think that I got like a little teary because I know what it's like to be in the
I know,
hospital.
I'm trying not to cry.
And it sucks, man. Excuse me, but it really does. I mean, being in the hospital with your kid as a mom is just like, especially to have the anxiety over the anticipation of it happening for you, because you're like, this is the given, this is going to happen, it was the mindset you were in before. And that's a lot to burden. So I just think, like we shared, the absorption of the nutrient quality, and it's not just the nutrients, like, yes, it's phenomenal nutrients, but it's that Dr. Dan also picked specific nutrients to support specific cellular processes in the body to really support wellness, like to support the body's ability to be able to function, and our immune product is really such a powerful immune modulator. So many people have a lot of success with it that I just think, I know a lot of people that have responded well that have asthma that take it and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like my asthma, went away. Asthma is usually an allergy, right? And immune is modulating that. Allergies are overactive immune system. So we use it too, but I love that it has it's giving you guys like life back, which is incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, that fear, like I don't, just not having that constant fear of hearing a wheeze, hearing a cough, and like thinking, okay, here we go. I literally ended up in the emergency room in the hospital for 5 days on my brother-in-law's wedding. Like I had to leave the wedding because that's how bad it was. So we missed out on quite a bit of things. So just to them to be able to do that, and to not have to worry about it, to not have to worry of walking around with that extra dose of steroids in my pocket just in case, is just, I can't even tell you how amazing it is.
Oh,
That's
that's
amazing,
such an
Jen.
amazing testimonial. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Jennifer.
Thanks for
Finally, we have Sue Carney on. I'm super excited that she's going to be sharing her health journey with us. Hey, Sue.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Go ahead and share your health journey with us.
Okay, well, thanks, Kassy and Marisa, for having me. And my situation was I've had a health challenge with bowel elimination for over 55 years. And my mother, I wasn't going to say this part, but she used to chase me around the house to get me to sit and try to go. She tried every over-the-counter medications, natural stuff, we've been to the doctor, I dreaded, the bathroom really, because it just was a bad, it wasn't a good feeling to even go, like, because I didn't think I was going to be able to. And one time it got so bad that a few times in my life where I didn't go to the emergency room, but probably I should have, I didn't go eliminate for 30 days. And so I was basically a toxic bomb. So it wasn't until, I had people telling me eat heads of lettuce, like I tried everything. It wasn't until I got Vitality that I started going regularly. And now I go 1 to 2 times a day. And that has not happened, like I said, in over 55 years. And I'm a 25-year breast cancer victor. I don't say survivor, victor. And I really believe that because of all that toxicity in my body, that toxicity breeds disease.
Mhm.
So I really feel like, I can't prove it medically, but I've never tried to, but I really feel like it contributed to the breast cancer. Because, disease, all kinds, will breed from not eliminating. So I take all the products, the Purify, the collagen. I also had problem skin since a teenager, then hormonal. And that probably the non-elimination attributed to the skin issue too. Because if you don't eliminate, it comes out in the skin. So this is really, I don't know, I'm over 55. And this is the clearest my skin has ever been my entire life. And I do have to attest to what Marisa said about the knees. Like, I started having knee issues. And when I take the collagen, it's not just for the outward, I started seeing relief in my knees.
Mhm.
So, but the bowel issue being eliminated, for the most part, has been the biggest thing that's happened to me with the 3 products, because they all work synergistically. And just that elimination, of course, you have to do other things besides just have a supplement, like eating, being a breast cancer, going through all that, like what I put in my body matters. So when I first saw the products, like Marisa said, it had to check boxes for me. And because after going through all that, I care what goes in here. So yeah, so I'm really thankful for 3. And I really feel like, to some degree, the products, the Vitality, saved me from the hospital, saved me from just, my body couldn't take that toxicity anymore. I feel like it saved me from, who knows what. So
Right.
I'm really thankful for it. And thank you all for having me on.
Well, I love that you brought in an aspect that most people are afraid to talk about, which is their bathroom activities. Most people don't realize it's normally digestively to go to the bathroom, have a bowel movement at least twice a day. Like, that's normal. Well, because we are environmentally not friendly to our bodies, most people don't experience that. They experience, like you did, Sue, where they don't go, or they have another form of constipation where it's runny all the time. So I love that you brought that up, and I love that you shared about your struggles for over a half of a century. Like, can you imagine having the same problem for 55 years and trying so many different things without a solution? So I love that it has changed so much for you, Sue. Marisa, what would you like to say? I add to, Sue did a great job about how excited she was about the, eliminating all that toxicity. But why do you think, the 3 products had such an impact on Sue?
Well, I think there's so many factors, and it's like, obviously it started so early for Sue. And there's like a trauma component to that. I mean, I recently was working with a family with a young child, and I shared, like, it becomes a trauma almost. And like you shared, your mom chasing you around, and also there's, pain associated. So when it starts in childhood, it's even harder because it becomes a psychological problem as well, where you don't want to go,
Yeah.
and your body responds to that. So I think that it's incredible to hear your testimony, because that's life changing. I mean, that 30 days is, I hope people can understand, that's like you're about to go have some surgery. That's very significant. So it's phenomenal. Vitality, all of our products are very much supportive of the gut, but Vitality is just something special, in my opinion. Yes, it has the digestive care blend. It has the probiotics, the prebiotics, the digestive enzymes. Those things are amazing. But it's really the blend of all the phytonutrients in there, I think, because it is the superfood blend. It has, recently we were talking with somebody about the RDIs, the recommended daily intake percentages, and they're like a minimum, like so that you don't become deficient. It's to avoid deficiency and disease. It's not to actually to reach optimal performance and thriving on those lists. And so we're just so nutrient dense also as a culture that plays a role into gut health. And then all those things come, like they just all go together. Kassy and I talked about this before we hopped on, like all the pieces, inflammation then becomes a problem. Inflammation breeds more issues, and it's a vicious cycle. And then, like Sue shared, she had the toxic burden, like not eliminating for 30 days, you are toxic, and so that's now affecting all of the filtering organs, which, like you shared, your skin wasn't healthy. Well, when your gut's not healthy, your skin is not healthy. If you have stuff going on in your skin, it means you have an angry liver and an angry gut. I mean, those things go hand in hand with each other. And so it's, to me, the three products just attack from all the places, like Kassy shared at the very beginning of this call, with the antioxidant, with reducing oxidative stress, with actually supporting the filtering organs, supporting the colon, supporting the liver in this case, and your skin and the kidneys and the lungs, like all the things, supporting your body's intake of the right nutrients. Because like when you think about having an infant, what do they need? They need to be held. They need to be fed. That's basically it, right? That you need to respond to their needs. They're crying. Like it's either eating, feeding, changing, sleeping. Like as adults, that's all we need too. But we aren't putting the right things in, So when you're actually getting those, the high quality nutrients, your cells are like, oh, they're singing, and they actually can start to function. And then the organs start to work better. And then you're actually able to eliminate and support your gut and get a good health back in your gut, which is phenomenal. Sue, that story is really incredible. And I'm so happy for you. That's tremendously life-changing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Sue. And thank you for Marisa for jumping on. I'm super excited that you shared all your knowledge with us. I know it was just a very snippet, and I'm so thankful for everybody that jumped on. What I will say is we just gave you a little snippet into what we've experienced with this phenomenal company and global platform of proactive wellness with 3. You can get more information from the person that invited you, but we're super excited that we got to share with you, and I'm so thankful to have been your host. So I hope you all have a great Wednesday. Marisa, anything you would like to add before we tune out?
No, thank you so much for having me on again, Kassy. It was so lovely having fun conversation with you again tonight.
All right. We'll do it again sometime soon. The rest of you guys have a happy and healthy and safe rest of the day. Good night.
Good night, everyone.